Stop blaming water. This is why you're waking up at 2 a.m. Have you ever noticed how often you wake up around 2 in the morning, even on nights when you think you did everything right? Many people believe it is simply because of that evening glass of water, or that age itself is to blame. But research shows your bladder is not the real problem. It is only the messenger, responding to signals from circulation, hormones, and even body temperature that shift during the night. In this video, I will walk you through 5 surprising mistakes that may be disrupting your sleep. Each one supported by science and simple solutions you can start tonight. Stay with me until the end, because mistake number 5 is the most overlooked yet also the most powerful, and mastering it may cut your nighttime awakenings in half. So let us begin with the first mistake, one that almost everyone underestimates: the timing of your evening water. Mistake 1. Misunderstanding the golden hour for drinking water. Many people believe that a small glass of water before bed is harmless, especially if they have been careful not to drink too much during the evening. The truth is that the timing of fluid intake has a far greater impact on nighttime awakenings than the total amount consumed. When you drink water, it does not instantly reach the bladder. Instead, it follows a complex but predictable journey through your digestive and circulatory systems before reaching the kidneys, which act as the body's master filters. Once fluid is absorbed into the bloodstream, the kidneys begin their essential work of maintaining balance by removing excess water and waste. This process, depending on your metabolism and hydration status, can take anywhere from 60 to 180 minutes. That means the glass you finish at 10 o'clock, just 1 hour before lying down, will still be in active circulation when you are trying to sleep, setting your body up for peak urine production between 1 and 2 in the morning. It is not the quantity alone, but the timing, that leads to these frustrating wake-ups. The body does have a natural defense system designed to protect sleep, a hormone called ADH, or anti-diuretic hormone. Normally, ADH levels rise at night, sending a signal to the kidneys to slow urine production so that you can rest without interruption. However, when you drink fluids too close to bedtime, this delicate rhythm is disrupted. The kidneys remain in daytime mode, filtering and producing urine as though you were still awake, and your bladder fills just as you reach your deepest stages of sleep. Scientific research strongly supports the importance of adjusting this schedule. A comprehensive study published in the Journal of Clinical Urology examined fluid management strategies for people struggling with nocturia, which is the medical term for waking to urinate at night. The results showed that those who stopped drinking at least 3 hours before bed reduced their nighttime trips to the bathroom by an average of 40% compared to those who only allowed 1 hour. This significant improvement highlights how powerful a simple shift in timing can be. The practical solution is what I like to call front-loading your hydration. Imagine your body as a reservoir that you want to fill during the day when you are active, moving, and able to visit the bathroom freely. By drinking the majority of your fluids in the morning and early afternoon, you give your body plenty of time to process and balance these fluids well before sleep. As evening approaches, you can gradually taper off your intake, allowing your natural hormones to take over during the night. Of course, there will be situations where you need a sip of water with medication or to relieve a dry throat. In these cases, the goal is not to deprive yourself, but to keep it minimal, using just enough to swallow a pill or moisten the mouth. Even these small adjustments make a difference when they are part of a consistent routine. The key is to create a nightly rhythm that allows your body to anticipate rest instead of being forced to manage fluid overload at midnight. So if you have been blaming that late-night bathroom trip on aging or on an overactive bladder, consider instead whether your evening drinking habits might be the hidden cause. Shifting your last significant glass of water earlier in the evening can give your kidneys the signal they need to rest, reduce the strain on your bladder, and help you remain asleep during those critical early morning hours. The difference is not only better sleep, but also more energy, sharper memory, and a calmer mind the next day. Now that we have looked at the timing of fluid intake, let's move to the dinner table, because what you eat and when you eat, it may also be quietly sabotaging your nights in ways you have not considered. Mistake 2. Eating late dinner and the hidden diuretic trap. When most people think about nighttime urination, They immediately blame fluids. Yet one of the most overlooked culprits is not what you drink, but what you eat. And, more importantly, when you eat it, a heavy or late dinner quietly sets up your body for restless sleep and bathroom interruptions. When food is consumed within 3 hours of bedtime, your body diverts energy to digestion rather than rest. Blood flow shifts toward the stomach and intestines. Your core temperature rises, and instead of sinking into deeper sleep, you remain in a lighter stage. During this time, your body also produces metabolic water, the natural byproduct of breaking down carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. While harmless during the day, at night it increases the fluid your kidneys must process, filling your bladder sooner than expected. Sleep researchers have long pointed out the consequences of eating too late. The Sleep Foundation emphasizes that digestion at bedtime fragments sleep and makes you more sensitive to minor bladder signals. In other words, even if your bladder is only partially full. The lighter sleep stage means you are more likely to wake up. What feels like a weak bladder is often just poor timing of the evening meal. By shifting your dinner earlier, you allow digestion to finish while you are still awake, freeing your body to focus on restoration once you fall asleep. The second part of this mistake lies in what is on the plate. While most people know alcohol and caffeine are diuretics, fewer realize that many common foods also encourage urine production. Vegetables such as celery, cucumbers, asparagus, and parsley are natural diuretics. They gently stimulate kidney activity, which is beneficial during the day but troublesome at night. Spicy dishes can irritate the bladder lining in sensitive individuals, creating a feeling of urgency even if the bladder is not full. And, of course, alcohol and caffeine both suppress the hormone ADH, which normally slows urine output while you sleep, leaving your kidneys in daytime mode. When you need them quiet, imagine finishing a large salad filled with cucumber and celery at 9 in the evening. It feels healthy, light, and satisfying. Yet as you lie down, digestion produces metabolic water while the natural diuretic effect of the vegetables encourages urine production. By 2 in the morning, your bladder is full, your sleep is light, and you are out of bed again. Many people blame the glass of water they avoided, when in reality the dinner plate carried the hidden trigger. The solution is not to avoid healthy foods, but to place them earlier in the day. Raw vegetables, big salads, or that cup of coffee or tea belong at breakfast or lunch when your body can process them fully without disturbing sleep. At dinner, choose cooked vegetables such as carrots, broccoli, or sweet potatoes, which provide nutrients without a strong diuretic effect. Keep portion sizes moderate so digestion does not continue late into the night, and whenever possible. Finish dinner 3 to 4 hours before bedtime to give your system time to settle. Scientific evidence supports these strategies. Clinical observations of patients with nocturia show that adjusting evening meal timing significantly reduces nighttime bathroom visits. One review found that people who avoided heavy late dinners reported fewer awakenings and better sleep quality. These are not dramatic or expensive interventions, just simple shifts that align your routine with your body's natural rhythms. Making this change is often easier than people think. A patient once told me he loved ending the day with a plate of fresh vegetables and sparkling water. He struggled with waking up 3 times a night. When he moved that meal to lunch and had a lighter, cooked dinner instead, his bathroom trips dropped to once a night. His mornings felt calmer, and he realized the issue was never his bladder alone, but the way his habits clashed with his biology. So take a moment to reflect. What time do you usually eat dinner? And what foods are on your evening plate if you often eat late or include diuretic foods? This may be the hidden trap stealing your rest. Try finishing meals earlier and shifting salads or stimulating drinks to midday. Within a few nights, you may find yourself sleeping deeper, waking less, and feeling more refreshed in the morning. Small changes in timing and food choice can make a profound difference, and they remind us that our bodies work best when we cooperate with them rather than against them. You deserve rest, and this simple adjustment may be the first step to reclaiming it. Mistake 3. Not fully emptying the bladder before sleep. One of the simplest but most overlooked reasons for nighttime bathroom visits is not how much you drink, but how completely you empty your bladder before bed. Many people think that going to the bathroom once as part of their bedtime routine is enough, yet in reality, Most of us are distracted, in a hurry, or not paying attention at this moment. We check our phones, think about the next day, or simply rush through the process. The result is that the bladder is only partially emptied, often 80 to 90% rather than completely. That last 10 to 20% may not seem important. But when you are trying to stay asleep through the night, it can make all the difference. The bladder is a muscular sac designed to stretch as it fills and to send signals to the brain when it reaches certain thresholds. A full adult bladder typically holds about 400 milliliters of urine. If you leave even 50 milliliters behind because you rushed, you have already given your bladder a head start on filling again. By the time your kidneys add a bit more overnight, the bladder reaches its signal point much faster than it should. Instead of sleeping 6 or 7 hours without interruption, you find yourself waking after only 3 or 4 hours because the urge has returned. This pattern is so common that urologists have given it a name: the good enough void. It feels like you have finished, but in truth, the bladder is not fully empty. Over time, this habit trains the bladder to become more sensitive to smaller volumes, creating a cycle where you wake up even when only a modest amount is present. Fortunately, the solution is simple, safe, and supported by research, a technique called double voiding. The Cleveland Clinic and other respected medical centers recommend it for patients who struggle with incomplete bladder emptying or frequent nighttime urination. Double voiding is easy to learn and can be added to your bedtime routine without stress. The first step is to make your final bathroom trip the very last thing you do before lying down. For men, it helps to sit rather than stand, because sitting allows the pelvic floor muscles to relax fully and makes it easier for the bladder to contract completely. Urinate normally without straining, then remain seated for about 30 to 60 seconds. Take a few slow breaths, lean slightly forward with your forearms resting on your thighs, and relax again. Often you will feel the urge to pass a little more, and this second release ensures the bladder is truly empty. Patients are often surprised at how effective this small practice can be. One man in his late 60s told me he was waking 2 or 3 times a night, even though he had stopped drinking fluids after dinner. When he learned double voiding and made it a nightly habit, his wake-ups decreased to once per night within a week. He described feeling more rested, more energetic in the morning, and less frustrated with his sleep. The change was not from medication or surgery, but from giving his bladder the extra minute it needed to do its job properly. From a biological perspective, this makes perfect sense. The bladder wall is lined with stretch receptors that send signals to the brain based on how full it feels. When the bladder empties more completely, those receptors remain quiet for longer, allowing deeper sleep. By contrast, when residual urine remains, the receptors are triggered sooner and more often. Disturbing rest. Studies confirm that techniques like double voiding reduce residual urine volume and improve quality of life in people with urinary frequency or nocturia. It is important to approach this practice with patience and curiosity rather than judgment. Many people feel discouraged when they cannot stay asleep, believing something is wrong with their body. In truth, the body is functioning as designed. It is simply responding to signals that could be managed differently. By learning to empty more completely, you are working with your biology, not against it. So tonight, when you prepare for bed, give yourself an extra 2 minutes for this ritual. Treat it as an act of care rather than a chore. Sit down, breathe, relax, and allow your body the time it needs. You may be surprised at how much difference such a small adjustment can make in the quality of your nights. Remember, restful sleep is not just about avoiding water or medicine. It is about small, consistent choices that give your body the support it needs. Double voiding is one of those choices, and it is available to you right now. Mistake 4. The bedroom too hot or too cold. When we think about waking in the middle of the night to urinate, most of us imagine the problem begins with our bladder. Yet an often overlooked factor lies outside the body, in the very environment we sleep in. The temperature of your bedroom plays a far greater role in your nightly bathroom trips than many realize. Too warm or too cold, and your body's delicate system of hormonal signals and circulation is disrupted, leaving your kidneys more active and your sleep more fragile. Creating the right microclimate is not simply about comfort. It is about supporting your biology. Let us begin with what happens when the room is too hot. for healthy sleep. The body naturally lowers its core temperature by 1 to 2 degrees. This cooling is essential for entering deeper stages of rest, and it is during those deeper stages that the hormone ADH, or anti-diuretic hormone, rises and slows down urine production. But if the bedroom is warm, or if you wear heavy, non-breathable pajamas, your body struggles to reduce its temperature. Instead of slipping into restorative sleep, you remain in lighter stages, where small signals from the bladder are more likely to wake you. The kidneys are not truly at fault, rather. The environment prevents the normal hormonal cycle from protecting your rest. Now consider the opposite extreme, when the room is too cold. Another process called cold diuresis takes place. To conserve heat, the body constricts blood vessels in the arms, legs, hands, and feet. This pushes blood toward the core, raising central blood pressure. The kidneys, sensing this increase, interpret it as excess fluid in the circulation and respond by producing more urine. You may have noticed this effect when swimming in a cold pool or being outdoors on a chilly day suddenly. The urge to urinate increases. At night, the same biology is at work instead of resting. Your kidneys are stimulated to filter more, filling the bladder and breaking your sleep. The science supporting this is clear. Research published in the Journal of Physiological Anthropology shows a direct connection between bedroom temperature, sleep quality, and the stages of rest. Participants sleeping in a cooler but stable range around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, or 18 to 20 degrees Celsius achieved deeper sleep, with fewer awakenings and longer periods of hormonal stability. Those in hotter or colder environments spent more time in lighter sleep and experienced more interruptions. The study reinforces what many of us intuitively know: comfort matters, but it is not only about feeling cozy, it is about how our organs, hormones, and brain interact through the night. The good news is that you can influence this factor with simple adjustments. First, aim to set your thermostat in the recommended cool range if that feels chilly. Use breathable fabrics such as cotton, bamboo, or linen for sheets and sleepwear. These materials allow heat to escape, preventing overheating while still keeping you covered, if you are sensitive to the cold. It is better to use an extra lightweight blanket that can be removed easily, rather than heavy. Heat-trapping clothing. This gives your body flexibility to self-regulate throughout the night. Another useful step is to notice airflow. A stuffy room raises temperature and humidity, both of which impair cooling. Gentle air circulation from a fan or an open window can keep the environment stable without making it uncomfortably cold. Some people also benefit from layering bedding so they can adjust quickly without fully waking up. Think of your bed as a microclimate you can control. When your environment supports your natural rhythms, your kidneys follow the lead and reduce nighttime production of urine. Patients often tell me they did not think temperature mattered until they tried changing it. One woman in her 70s had been waking twice each night, convinced her bladder was failing. After a simple adjustment, lowering her thermostat by 2 degrees and changing to cotton nightclothes, her wake-ups dropped to once a night, and she reported feeling more refreshed in the morning. Her bladder had not changed at all, but her environment finally allowed her hormones to work as intended. So, as you reflect on your own sleep, ask yourself, is your bedroom too warm, too cold, or perhaps too unpredictable? Rest is not only about what you eat or drink, it is also about the conditions you create. With a few mindful adjustments, you can give your body the chance to stay in deeper sleep, reduce bladder signals, and wake with more energy. Remember, your environment is part of your treatment, and shaping it to your biology is an act of care you truly deserve. Mistake 5. Gravity, sleeping position, and the rule of 1 throughout the day. Gravity is at work on your body, slowly pulling fluid into the lower legs and ankles. This is why many older adults notice swelling in their feet by evening or a sense of heaviness after long hours of sitting. While this seems harmless, it creates a hidden problem once you lie down. The moment you stretch out to rest, that fluid begins to move back into the bloodstream. The kidneys, sensing this extra volume, filter more aggressively, producing urine right as you are trying to stay asleep, instead of supporting deep rest. Your circulation is quietly setting you up for an early awakening. This explains why some people wake once, twice, or even more during the early hours of the night. It is not always about the water you drank before bed, but about your body redistributing what it stored throughout the day. Fortunately, there is a simple and effective way to manage this process. By elevating your legs before sleep, you can shift that fluid earlier, while you are still awake, resting with your feet on pillows, using an ottoman, or even lying back with your legs up against the wall for 1 to 2 hours in the evening allows gravity to drain the extra fluid into circulation before bedtime. Your kidneys process it. You empty your bladder before sleep, and the pressure that once woke you in the middle of the night is gone. This is not just theory. A study in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society tested leg elevation in older adults with frequent nighttime urination. The results showed a significant reduction in awakenings once participants practiced draining excess fluid in the evening. Not only did they wake less often, but they also reported a deeper, more restorative quality of sleep. These findings show that something as simple as changing posture before bed can make a profound difference without medication or invasive treatments. Your sleeping position during the night also matters. Lying flat on your back can increase abdominal pressure, especially if there is extra weight around the midsection, which can press on the bladder. A pillow beneath the knees helps by slightly raising the legs and relieving lower back strain. Even more effective for many people is sleeping on the side, particularly the left side. This position eases pressure on the bladder, supports circulation, and may even reduce problems like acid reflux. The way you position yourself is more than a matter of comfort. It is a tool that can support your bladder and improve rest. At this point, many people feel tempted to try every possible change at once. They want to stop late dinners, cut fluids earlier, change bedroom temperatures, and elevate their legs, all in the same night. Yet this all-or-nothing approach often backfires, leaving you discouraged when it feels overwhelming. This is why the rule of one is so important. Instead of tackling all 5 mistakes, choose the one that gave you the clearest aha moment. If elevating your legs felt simple, focus only on that for a few nights. If side sleeping made sense, commit to that first. By mastering one change at a time, you create real progress and build the confidence to layer on other strategies later. I have seen this approach succeed repeatedly. One gentleman in his 70s once told me he failed when he tried to fix everything at once, but when he focused only on elevating his legs in the evening, he saw results within a week. Encouraged, he added the double voiding habit, then later adjusted his dinner timing. Over time, he built a routine that gave him far more uninterrupted sleep than he thought possible. His body had not failed him. It simply needed support through small, steady adjustments. So remember, gravity and posture are powerful influences on your nights, but they are also things you can control. By working with your body's natural rhythms and starting with just one manageable change, you give yourself the best chance at lasting success. And once you understand these 5 common mistakes and the ways to correct them, a bigger question arises: how do you bring them together into a clear and encouraging path forward? That is exactly what we will explore in the conclusion, where I will help you tie these lessons into one simple plan for better sleep. We have now uncovered 5 of the most common and correctable mistakes that lead to waking up in the night: drinking water too close to bedtime, eating heavy or diuretic meals late in the evening, not fully emptying the bladder, sleeping in a room that is too hot or too cold, and finally, ignoring the effects of gravity and sleeping position. Each of these factors places extra pressure on your kidneys and bladder, but importantly, each one can be adjusted with small, practical steps. What the science reminds us is that the body is not failing. It is simply responding to signals and environments, hormones like ADH, the stretch receptors in your bladder wall, and the way your circulation shifts at night are all normal processes. When you align your habits with these processes instead of against them, the difference in sleep quality can be remarkable. Research consistently shows that even simple changes such as moving your last drink earlier or elevating your legs before bed can cut nighttime awakenings by nearly half. The most important step now is to begin gently, not perfectly. Choose one change, apply it with patience for a few nights, and notice how your body responds. Progress is built on steady wins, and even one less trip to the bathroom can improve mood, energy, and confidence in the morning. Remember, these are not restrictions but gifts you give yourself. A way to honor the rest your body truly deserves. If this video gave you insight and a plan, you can begin tonight. I invite you to show your commitment by typing the word plan in the comments. Share which mistake was your personal aha moment, because your story can inspire someone else. And if you want more practical, science-based guidance for men's health and better sleep, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching, and may tonight be the start of deeper, more peaceful rest.